And now we are coming to our last session for today. And actually, we will go to where we actually started in this afternoon with the keynote speech by Miro and Mark. As we heard, they're on a mission to allow companies to set the policies and strategies for using co-working and on-demand spaces. And we believe they both have found the perfect recipe for success. Therefore, in the next couple of minutes, you'll experience firsthand the future of work with an immersive product demonstration from OfficeRnD and LiquidSpace.
Click. Well, it's actually quite difficult after all of these really strong panels to make demonstration of a product, but let's try to make it exciting. I know that Mark is proficient in this, so let's give it a try. The first one that we'll run is the integration for OfficeRnD Hybrid and OfficeRnD Flex, which essentially allows having the hybrid experience built within the building member portal, which is our Flex product. So essentially having this use case of simplifying the scheduling in a bigger company, fitting in a smaller space, fully integrated in the member portal.
So just to clarify, I'll play customer. If I'm a co-working space operator, yeah, like the Office Group or Mayo, and I license or rent a team space to a customer, mm-hmm. You're going to show how OfficeRnD Hybrid could be embedded within that team space that was rented. Do I get that right?
Yes.
Yeah, great.
Right. So of course we will do a pre-recorded video because demos and technology is that advanced that it never breaks, but we still decided to to make it in a video. So if we can play that. So we are just seeing now the normal OfficeRnD Flex portal. That's just the standard one. And my office is actually within the member portal of a co-working space, having our personal office. And I'm choosing today to make a booking in my own office. I'm booking that desk. Yeah, so booking's complete. I can see who else is coming for in our own private office that day, so I can find Diana or myself, or maybe invite a colleague to work together tomorrow, or it's actually today. You can see my whole team, or eventually book for my whole team. And at the same time, I can also build my whole schedule. So I can go in and see that I'll probably be working from home on Monday. Eventually, Tuesday, I'll be in the office. I plan to go to the office on Thursday too. So I'm going to book the same desk. Let's also book Friday. The system will automatically pick the same desk that I previously booked because I probably will like the same desk. I can see all my bookings, and eventually if I decide not to come on Friday, I'll just go ahead and cancel that. Yeah, and here, if I want to book someone to sit next to me, I can do that too because I'm a leader there. So I pick someone, and I can make it a private booking. That's just for fun. And on top, so these are the co-working meeting rooms that are here. So basically, the meeting rooms available in our shared space. So since I'm coming tomorrow to the office, I also want to book meeting rooms for my meetings. So I'm booking one quick room. And then go make another booking. So essentially our idea here is to really simplify this whole scheduling of all the different spaces within our private offices, as well as everything that's available as part of our bigger space in a fully integrated, but also relatively separated way. So a lot of companies still want their own offices to be their own offices. So we want to keep that privacy too. So we have a lot of settings and options to actually make that really private for the company, as well as give enough flexibility to the office provider to also configure that and play a role in the whole hybrid work experience. So that's a brief demo of the integration. And in case you want to learn more, you can totally get in touch, of course. And then, yeah, Mark, over to you for...
Yeah, so I think Miro and I both think the world changed. And in the last panel, the audience or the speakers talked about customer journey a bit. And like we think the world profoundly changed. We think as it relates to the office industry or the work industry, the customer used to be a much simpler beast. It was the transaction manager with a budget at the enterprise that was going to sign a 10-year lease. It's fuzzier than that now. The customer is that person still, but it's also the 30,000 employees in that same company. Because when the world changed, and as we're starting to emerge from this COVID haze, the thing that's different now is that companies around the world, the smart ones, are actually giving their employees permission and a means, agency, to act on that choice. And I think we've come to quickly appreciate that sorry everybody, it's not about place anymore. It's about work. And the work I'm doing isn't any different. I don't think the future of work is any fucking different than the work that we were doing in 2019 was. I think that what's different is the ordering and the organization of that work. The coordination of people and place over time. It's different because it's not a place anymore. And the decision about the organizing and the ordering of that work. Where am I going to concentrate today? Where am I going to collaborate this afternoon? Where might I co-work with my whole team tomorrow? That now has been gifted to the employees. And so this next demo, this recorded that I'll narrate, is the beginning of, we think, a vital layer that's necessary. There's much good work to do product-wise still. But what you'll see is a layer that pulls together all place. This time from the vantage point of one of those companies that has been smart and has decided that the world changed and that they're going to give their employees choice. So we're going to see a fictitious company called DemoCo. So we'll all be employees of DemoCo. And I'll narrate as sort of the first person, as a user who's been, as an employee of this company, who's been given permission and the means to act on that. And last comment before we roll the video, I was chatting with one of our customers, head of real estate for a big telecom company, and he said, you know, Mark, when I wake up in the morning, he was channeling his employees. As an employee at this big familiar telecom company, when I wake up in the morning, I'm not thinking about how do I book a meeting room at the headquarters, or how do I book a meeting room at a co-working space. I'm thinking about what do I need to do? What's the work that I need to do today or this week or over the month? And secondly, I think, who do I need to do it with? Is this concentration and solo work, or am I coordinating with Simon? And then, if it's the latter, it might be, okay, well, I need to do some work with Simon and Miro, and where are they? Still don't give a hoot about a booking experience yet. What do I need to do? Who do I wish to do it with? Where are they? Now I'm ready to think about mapping that work to place. Okay? So the questions that come first have been completely inverted, and I challenge us all to recognize and honor that the discussion starts with, what do I need to get done? What's the work? All right, so with that as a backdrop, if you could let that roll, and I'll do my best to keep up. So I'm an employee of DemoCo. My company has given me permission, along with the other 30,000 people in the employee. I'm going to log into my company-branded portal. Probably do this with single sign-on, because I'm signing on with my company credentials. It's going to ask me for my home base. I'm based in San Ramon. And so in my company's portal, I type in San Ramon, and it's going to anchor me and drop me into now my transactional portal. At the center of my screen, I can see a logo for my company's headquarters. I'm also seeing other spaces that are curated for me. Now, this week, the work I need to do is to travel to Texas for the Global Workspace Association conference. That's what I'm doing, literally tomorrow. And I need to book a meeting room to meet with a colleague because I want to coordinate with Miro at that site. I pull up a familiar venue. I look in real time into the calendar of availability. I choose that space that matches the work I want to do, given that this was an instance of collaboration. And then with a click and against my company's internal billing, because I'm the empowered employee, the company's paying for it, but all that's been set up in the background. All that friction's been taken away. I click, I book. There was task one. I'm traveling somewhere. I wish to collaborate with colleagues when I get there. The work that I need to do is collaboration in nature, and I transact that. Following that day of work in Texas, I'm going to head back to my home base location, San Ramon. And I'm going to choose to debrief with my team, having come back with all these learnings from the conference that I went to. And now I want to coordinate a day of work at my company headquarters, because that's where I know my colleagues will be. I could book off of the same calendar interface I wished, or now, and as a product of the relationship with OfficeRnD, since I know the environment of my company's office, I've now pulled into the LiquidSpace marketplace experience the internal workplace portfolio of my employer. So LiquidSpace is no longer just co-working spaces. It's that plus the ability for the entirety of a company's internal portfolio to be there. Moreover, I want to do things like what Miro showed you moments ago. I actually want to book not just an activity for collaboration. I want a meeting room with Miro, but I also want to spend the rest of the day working with Miro. Many work days are a blend of different tasks and behaviors. It's not one space, one day. It's typically a variety of work activities. So I wanted to find Miro because the who and the what comes before the place. I found Miro, I booked a desk next to him. Let me catch up here. Lastly, as I zoom out then, having made a couple of those transactions, I booked my day of work in Texas. I booked my following day back at the office. And I might even want to, since I'm going to be back at the office the following day, I may want to invite other colleagues to join me there. Again, coordinating people around the work in place and in time. We strive to take the friction out of this, put all of the opportunities in one place. Someone earlier today said technology needs to get out of the way. Technology isn't the answer. It's to take the friction out of the journey. The journey is coordinating work with people over time in various places. That's the employee journey. That's the superpower for millions of employees today who have been gifted that agency. Now let's flip over to Mark, the real estate manager at that same company, who was tasked 18 months ago, 24 months ago, with setting up a program to enable that, but was told, you mustn't lose control. Mark, you need to get smarter. You need to learn continuously. We want you to observe and have the ability to control that activity. So now I'm looking at the manager's dashboard. The VP of real estate or workplace or HR lives here. At a glance, he or she can see the adoption of his or her employees, their engagement. She can see a real-time activity map. Where are my employees literally working today and at this instant? Well, they're in hundreds or thousands of places. Moreover, he or she can see who are my most engaged employees. How are they engaging with my program? Diana Bond here at 21% of her budget for a given month. Susan Johnson, oh my goodness, Susan is at 95% of her budget for the month. I'm going to actually drill in and adjust Susan's permissions and give her a bit more agency. So instead of capping her at $5,000, she's being given $7,500. Save that with a click. This is an action of a manager looking down over the workplace needs of their employees. If I was in a real estate planning mode, so maybe it's the end of a quarter and I'm trying to consider, do I want to renew that office lease at the headquarters or should we downsize it? Well, let me look at the data from a rearview mirror standpoint. What activities are people booking? How much are we spending? How is that trending? That data, that real-time data from a historical standpoint at my fingertips. Similarly, I have the ability to look forward. I can see in real time where my employees are searching. Here I'm cutting data based upon team if I wish. I've organized my employees into groups called teams. I can organize data by venue location. Data isn't the answer, but data is about solving business questions. And so for real estate leaders, the uncertainty that paralyzes the current moment is, I don't know what the rhythms are. This is about putting the actual observable rhythms of work in an easily digestible format so that planners and strategy can be formulated and influenced by real data insights. Here I'm adding a new employee to the organization, and with a click I can set the permissions for that individual, set the budgets for that individual, and welcome them onto a team. You'll see on the left-hand side that teams are organized, in this case, around departments, but a team is simply a subset of an organization, a group of employees who have like needs and are being given like permissions. So now we're adding Eric Zellhart as a new user. He's being invited into a newly created team called New Team. That was clever. And he is now being given permission, and that mere action of adding that new user has just sent an email invite to Eric for him to log into and have access to that portal that we demonstrated at the start. He's being given workplace choice. Thanks.
That's great.
Do we have one more? Was that it?
Yeah, I think we have one more. Yeah, so let's play that.
And actually, Miro, before you do, if I can you, or
yeah.
It's rolling. Can we pause? Can you pause real quick? So this partnership that we announced this morning that we're demonstrating, what you saw there in the LiquidSpace demo just now was we've embedded the power of OfficeRnD Hybrid within our marketplace experience, so companies can add their own portfolios to a global ecosystem of flex spaces. So it's OfficeRnD embedded in a delightful, simple, uniform way for a company that might already be using LiquidSpace but wants to add their portfolio. And now we're going to show you the exact opposite of that, LiquidSpace embedded within the OfficeRnD centric experience. Sorry.
Yes, no, that's perfect. We can play that. So, yeah. So now we're going to see the same experience, but starting from my Office experience. So Office, let's say Office first. So this is OfficeRnD Hybrid, and essentially we already get like hundreds of customers on a corporate side with a hybrid product. Our idea is to really increase the adoption of coworking and flex spaces by promoting more and more of it to our corporate customers. And in this case, that's via the LiquidSpace marketplace. So we're just starting again with, I'm planning my day. I'm gonna book a desk in our HQ. But also let's explore what I have near me. So now it's getting a similar experience as Mark said, but it's actually reversed. So I'm starting from my office and now zooming out to see what else there is. Because in some cases, I might be traveling or I might need a space for my team outside of the office because the office could be overbooked or boring or we just need a change. So we're getting a room for 6 to do some team meeting. And the same rules about the workplace applies. So the company, that's basically the hybrid customer here, can fully configure all the budgeting and all the infrastructure needed to make that really, let's say, corporate friendly, so that they have still the proper restrictions around what the employees are using. And yeah, now we're gonna book something for Friday, I guess. We will get a quick day pass, maybe. You go. Yeah. What? Ah, okay.
Is that the end?
Good. Yeah, I think that's it.
And I think our point of view is, as Miro said in his opening remarks this morning, workplace, whatever label you put on it in this new age, if it's hybrid workplace, whatever label you put on it, we fervently believe it is a continuum. It's not just a company's headquarters. It's not just the brilliant co-working spaces that are growing around the world. It's not just the landlord flex spaces. It's not just homes. It's all those spaces. And whether a customer who's embracing this new world wishes or is starting with enabling its internal offices to be transactable, as you saw, and adding a marketplace of options to it, or whether they're starting the opposite way and beginning with a global ecosystem of places and then wanting to bring their internal space back in. If they start with LiquidSpace or if they start with OfficeRnD, we believe that what the world needs, table stakes, is that there be such a thing as one platform experience that can take the friction out of that journey end to end for employees. The user, the employee, is the most important constituent. Now, the booking of space isn't the end-all, be-all, but we do think it's the critical ground layer. Place does matter. Right? We're all here because place matters importantly. But the foundation layer of tying all places together sets the stage for us to then be able to work on the exciting next order things, which is bringing more capability to helping organize the work, helping nudge people back into the behaviors of coming together, help people find the productivity and find the delightful outcomes that come when we do choose to leave home or leave the headquarters.
It has been truly a great couple of hours, right? In only 5 hours, we managed to cover various topics, starting from exploring the ways the products have changed, going through how companies can use technology, and finishing with a real-time demo, for the first time, live demo of a brand new integration of OfficeRnD Hybrid with LiquidSpace. But the biggest achievement and reward for us at the end of the day really is the ability to sit with you here physically in the loading bay. We would like to say sincere thank you to all of you for making this conference possible by joining us both on site and online. The event could also not have been possible without the valuable insights of all of the speakers who openly shared their professional expertise. Last but not least, we would also like to thank our marketing team for the dedicated work we saw and really putting their heart and soul in making this conference happen.
And yeah, we hope that you cherry-picked ideas, you got inspired. I'm sure that you have many thoughts to reflect on moving forward. I guess you remember, but there was a raffle when you registered for all those who are on site. So we have 2 winners from the raffle. Those are Clive Dixon and Rob Scriven. I'm not sure if I'm Scriven, apologies. So in order to get your prices and get more information, head to the reception and search for the
Kate
marketing team there. They will give you more information how to get your prices. Congrats, and thank you for being here. And for those who are online with us, stay a little longer as the hybrid product update will take place now during the cocktail. You can grab a drink after that at your own place, whenever and wherever you are. And yeah, we will wrap the day, of course, in a proper manner with a celebration, and we will have a cocktail. But before I want to take a selfie with you. Just say, raise the hands up, say FlexWorld, and let's take a selfie to commemorate the day. Yeah?
Yay, show some excitement.
Let me see you. Say FlexWorld.
FlexWorld.
Good.
Thank you.
The drinks are there.